course, the GPUs, like the hardware issue. So using Google Colab is a good option, but to be honest, use that really well, or like just set up your computer so that you could actually be, like having longer hours to compute. Like for instance, my project sometimes takes like more than 10 hours, so I have to run it on my computer. Otherwise, like when you use Google Colab, unless you paid for Pro, it just gives you like I think 45 minutes just to run a cell. So that's not helpful. So try to find ways to like optimize your hardwares. That's also another challenge. Like if you have the money, I would say like invest on your PC. It comes handy like when you are facing hard times. So yeah. Aside from that, like choosing the right model depends on research. Like try to see what other people have done before you, because like that should be your baseline. Like if you haven't found, like try to see what the other countries do on the same project, like what kind of machine learning models have they used, or probably deep learning models, or probably generative AI these days. Yeah, I guess this will come handy.
Okay, so you've started this next question. I was going to ask how do you stay updated with the rapidly evolving field of data science, and what trends are you most excited about?
Okay. To be honest, the Gen AI is really fascinating for me because I've kind of worked on the topic like for 2 years now. It's really exciting and it's really helpful in so many applications. Even like as a prompt engineering is becoming like something that's really useful. There are jobs, actual jobs. I was looking for jobs on LinkedIn, so yeah, there are actually jobs, but like not in Ethiopia. So that's the problem. But like if you get into Upwork or like during just the remote jobs, there are actually jobs. So I think that's my type. But for me, it's really interesting, like working on like domain specific or business specific generative AI solutions. So like I'm learning like how the rug works. Like I'm trying to learn how the like the OpenAI models work, and also like the GCP. Like you can actually specify like an agent for a specific domain. So it really is interesting for me. And also like I like the healthcare, but the data is limited. So yeah, I'm just going to there.
Okay, so we can see that data science is related to many businesses, and you're also working as a business analyst too. So let's just have some few questions related to business analysis. So how does your technical background as a data scientist and a programmer as well influence your approach to business analysis?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of related. When you actually are working on a business analysis, it is like domain specific and also business specific. It depends on which kind of topic that you are actually working on. So I highly recommend to focus on, like a specific domain, so that you could actually have more skills on that business area. So I don't know, like I have not seen many jobs as a business analyst in Ethiopia, but like there are jobs like in the outside of Ethiopia. So try looking into that. But as a business analyst, what you have to do is understand like what the client wants, and like try to find a way to have a better business solutions. Like you need to recommend, or you need to suggest like what they can do with their data, the data they are collecting, like to achieve, like more customers maybe, or more products, or like where to sell. So it depends on what the businesses are looking for. So yeah, it's better to look for job descriptions so that you could have an idea.
Okay. Would you say that they are key skills that are required to bridge the gap between technical and business stakeholders, besides understanding the business?
Yeah, like you need, like that's what I say, as I said earlier, like try to learn Power BI. It really is important. And maybe customer resource management platforms, or, and ERP platforms. Like try to get the hang of those things, and also try to do projects. Also learn how to tell a story, like data storytelling. It means like explaining the technical findings in a way that non-technical audience can understand, which means stakeholders or of a business. And also like what's the business goal? Try to understand that. Also make sure to, like the technical and the non-technical teams are on the same page. Also, yeah, like translate the business problems into data-driven solutions. But like tools vary on like what the businesses wants. If you want to go to the data storytelling though, like use Power BI and Tableau and SQL, no SQL, yeah, you have to know that in an advanced way. Also, like there are companies that use Excel, so try to get certifications on that.
Okay, that's a good advice. Uh, so, in your experience as a business analyst, how can businesses leverage data to create more inclusive and equitable workplaces for women? Um, what do you think of this question?
Okay, this is up to the HR to be honest, but businesses can use data to analyze hiring trends. So it's just another AI solution, or like data-driven solution. So like just by leveraging AI-driven HR analytics, they can identify biases in hiring, performance evaluations, and promotions, so that they ensure fair opportunities for women. But aside from that, like try to show your skills, like try to try to communicate with them properly. Like if something is you don't understand, like try to ask, before time flies and you start to think like you're not doing a good job or something. So in order to like overcome those things, you need to focus and think about those things.
Okay,
Yeah, communication is a, a basic skill, especially in the business analytics. Like try to communicate with the stakeholders or your project manager. Yeah, like you need to align your goal, the business goals, with whatever they're trying to achieve. So like try to shine.
okay, that's a good advice. So, related to this question, have you faced any gender related challenge in your career and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I did. Like I've faced challenges like being underestimated, not having enough representation. But like I just overcame them by proving my skills through competitive programming, while research, leadership, and active advocation. for the in like my club. So I kind of tried to prove them wrong. Like not just I went for like to learn more, but on the way there were opportunities to grow, like to take leadership. So when I got the opportunity, it was scary to be honest, but I went for it. And like when you doubt yourself, like you'll try to do more, and you can so that you can achieve more things. Like for me, I kind of did that. Yeah, like there are many challenges to be honest,
Mm,
but like
mm.
you need to overcome them. Like you don't need to worry. Like just do your thing and like try to be extraordinary.
So constantly improving is an important point, and I was also mentioned clearly communicating.
Yes.
Okay. So you also mentioned the representation, but what do you think the representation? How do you think the representation of women in tech and programming has evolved over the year? Has it improved, or what still needs to be done?
Like I think it needs to be better. It's good. Like especially the past 6 7 years, I've been seeing progress. Especially the last 3 4 years, it was really nice. Like it was in a good pace. It's in a good pace, but like we need to. I think we need to do more. Um, like when it comes to the representation, like I'm just seeing it's a male dominated field. So I think like let go of just the fears and like the negative thoughts, and just work on yourself. Like teach yourself new things, try to improve, get certifications, like just learn what things are like. Um, when there is a new technology that you don't know about, like at least try to see just a crash course, or just 5 minute videos on YouTube, like so that you could have a better understanding, and like you can apply those skills when you need them. Like trying to learn new things will help with the you know to have better jobs and like to have more engagement. When you have the confidence, like you'll try to uh, go for many places that you've never expected yourself to see.
So that's a good advice. So you have participated in events aiming at empowering women. So have you? Will you tell us a bit about an event or initiative that you organized or even participated at empowering women in tech or programming? So what would you say about this event?
Like including this one.
Yes.
Okay, to be honest, like women Techmakers Addis was my first woman inclusive or like women specific event to go. Um, yeah, it was really nice. I think it was 2 years ago. I was invited as a keynote speaker, and it was really nice, like to have women intake, and like to have sisters intake. Um, Than that, I try to see like there are I think she goes to Africa, and um, I do not remember. Like I think it was a tech div. Yeah, I think it's a tech div, and they have a scholarship for some skills, especially like in cybersecurity, data analytics, software programming, and there I've seen like women from Ethiopia participating on that event. Like it's like a boot camp. I think it's probably it takes I think 6 months. I think, and like they have a good program. I still see a feeds from She Code Africa, and they're actually doing something really nice. Also, there is a Ghana women intake program. So I also follow them on LinkedIn, and like when I have something that I want to see, I will, like register to an event, online event. Um, but aside from that, like I am mostly focused on my work and more on skills and like the programming contest in Ethiopia. So yeah, I'm not going to many events, but like if there is one, I will let you guys know.
Okay. Besides the events, how about mentorship and role models? What role do they play in encouraging more women to enter and thrive in tech? So, like, did you have like a specific person as a role model, or uh, did you have a mentor uh, that you would like? Would you say that that has helped you in your career? Can you tell us more about these?
Okay. Um, I think when I was starting, like uh, I've seen like Dr. Tumnit. She was really epic because she was working at Google at that point. um, and I still admire that the work she's doing, like having her own startup and like she's killing it out there. Honestly, like I've seen her like as someone I can look up to. But aside from that, like I have mentors at like the club. Probably guys know him. His name is Mukarram. He was my mentor. To be honest, like most people at CSCC, us too, like we help each other out, and like having a community will help. Um, but like specific women mentor, I've never had a women mentor. um, yeah, probably there was one teacher that I had. Her name is Professor Janet. She is teaching at Adama Science and Technology University. So she was also a good inspiration for me to continue my career in data science, like to actually work on the industry, like rather than the academy. Like the academy is really good, but like when you come to the industry, it's really interesting to see like how business work and many things. So that's like she was. She's actually, I actually talk to her these days too. So like whenever I needed help on something, and like try to have friends like the same age with same interest, um, and also someone that you mm, need to talk to. Like having a mentor is really important.
Okay. So, since you mentioned us too, let me take you back to your college days. Can you tell us a bit about those time? How did it go during your study years?
Um, okay, so I I joined like CACC like when I was first year. So most of my life was is on that club till I graduate. So like mostly I try to work on the extracurricular, uh, because what we are learning in class is a foundation, like foundation of computer science, and like how they started to work on like the actual or the theoretical part of um, computer science. So I needed to work on extra skills so that I could get, like the industry. Um, so I don't know, like how do you want me to answer that question? But like it would be much better to if you ask me some question and like I can, tap into it.
Okay, so I'd like to know your journey, like starting from first year into your last. How did your skill develop? Like,
Mm. Okay, like the classworks are mostly inspirations. It just give you like what to read and which programming language have what kind of things. Um, but like when I started to join, like to participate in the club during our first year, we've learned competitive programming, like what it is and how we can actually solve problems like mathematical implementations, optimizations. So like I usually stay at the university during summer so that I could learn more things and so that I could practice more. And then like I think during the second year I was focusing more on like how to solve problems using C++ and Python. And then after that, when I actually joined my department, like when I joined CSC, I was more focused on like mathematical things, and also I started the leadership since then. And after that, I think during my third year, I worked on web applications. I tried to see mobile applications on a high level, but I think during my second year, I've thought like there was a competition and like I saw what data science means, like a data science competition. Like you guys can actually participate in that. I think it probably starts in March. I will share it with you. So, like you actually African students can participate on that competition and like you can get prizes like in US dollars. And like we were actually experimenting that year, and that like when we were third year, mostly was software development in different frameworks. Like it was crazy. Like it was tutorial purgatory, mostly kind of like that. And and then I think COVID came. So during COVID I was trying to teach myself more frameworks, and after that like the CCC, like I mean like the competitive programming leadership came. And like yeah, there were many things going on, but like during every year, like at the end of every project, it was more easier, and it gets easier and easier like to understand something, like to work on just the code and to understand like how frameworks work. Yeah, like it was getting better and better. And like when I finished class, when I was fifth year, I actually like started to work at INSA. But after that, like I needed to work on like the data science. So I get back to school and like I further advance it, but have started to learn the machine learning or the data science. So yeah, that's kind of my journey.
So basically, applying those skills on projects is what makes it easier and improving,
Yes.
right? That's what makes it easier.
Yes. Yes. And also like try to find internships. Like I've been seeing on freelance Ethiopia, like even like when I was a student, like there were many posts on freelance Ethiopia. Whenever you see um like a job posting that you can do, like go for it. Like as long as you can work. I mean, like you guys are in Addis, so definitely you can do it. Like even if it's in person, like 2 3 days, or like try to look for like remote positions so that you could learn something from that project. Because at the end of the day, what matters is like what kind of project that you've done, and also industry experience is really different from like working on tutorial projects, because
Mm.
it's really different. There are many changes from the client. So yeah.
Okay, so You've mentioned competitive programming, and you've also, besides the data science competition, you've also been an ICPC participant in Ethiopia and South Africa, as well as a contest organizer and site manager for EtCPC. So, what was the inspiration behind that?
Um,
How did you
Actually,
start your journey?
yeah, um, yeah, like I started to draw, like participate in the CCC club, and I immediately taught us the competitive programming. Um, and then I continued to do daily practices there, and like it was really difficult to manage between class and um, this competitive programming at the beginning, but like later I kind of get the hang of it with the help of everyone in the lab. um, and like as I mentioned earlier, when we went to home for a COVID break. I mean, like during the COVID. So at that time, I was participating in this Moroccan girls participation. Like I want to mention, like Mr. Abu Bakr, he sent us a link to participate during COVID, and it was like a 4 hour contest, and we participated on that. And like the manager reached out to me, like she talked to me, like I didn't know like whether someone in Ethiopia would be interested in content programming, no? Something like that. So, and then we talked. I told her that we have a club, and like we also participate in competitive programming through South Africa. Like so, initially the club was mainly organized for students to participate in competitive programming because we had Korean like management before Dr. Lamy. So they started. I think it's Professor Chua, like he was our school dean, and then he wanted to. He like they have a program, like they participate in competitive programming in their university. I think he was from KAIST, and like he brought that program into the lab, and I participated 2 years after. But like the process was like to participate with the Korean students, and after that they will send us to South Africa, and then later to the Africa and Arab Championship. So from that contest that I participated, we kind of created shortcut to directly organize the national contests on our own, and also like to directly go to the regionals to Egypt or the Arab African Programming Championship, which is the ACPC. So yeah, like during that time we had a meeting and we set that up to dive to the other program, like which is the ACPC. Yeah, and I'm grateful to have that opportunity.
That's an interesting journey. That's really interesting. So, related to this competitive programming, are there any specific skills or concepts that you have to master in, like specifically for competitive programming?
Um, yeah, like first of all, you need to know programming, like the concept of programming, and then like try to select one language from C++, C, Python, and Kotlin. I'm not sure. Like, I think they're using Kotlin in uh, many of the programmings, so that's also an option. But like for just fast implementation, I think Python is good, and C++ is good for like memory based questions, like when you want to make something efficient and faster, like C++ is really nice. So I recommend like checking those two. Yeah, and aside from that, like you need to have someone in your group, uh, like or like personally, like you need to work on your mathematical skills, or like you need to be open to learn mathematics, because it's really important. Most of the concepts are related to maths and um, critical thinking. Like you need to have visualizations of like a given scenario from the question. Um, so yeah, these are the skills, and like when you learn more, you learn other things too. Probably you might share this with me someday.
Okay, thank you for the advice. How about for improving like problem solving speed and accuracy? Besides having the skills, how could someone improve their speed and accuracy in competitive programming?
I think like doing questions more, like more questions, would be helpful. Like usually code forces, and HackerRank, and like these days, Geeks for Geeks have their own, um, like space for competitive programming questions as well. So yeah, like doing questions daily would, like help you see different scenarios and like how to solve a problem. So yeah, just practice. I know like it sounds repeated, but like just practice questions.
So practice is the key.
Yeah, also use a timer, like if you want
Okay.
to do the questions efficiently, and try to read more. Like try to see um, like how the other people around you have done that same question. So yeah.
So would you say that competitive programming has been important in your journey? How important was it, like joining competitive programming? How did it shape you?
Um, yeah, like it really is important. Like, and I've seen like how it is very important. Um, like when I started to learn like web, I my first framework was Django, so I had to, like apply the things that I have learned from competitive programming, and like gen- generally learning from Python. So focusing on like how to, like iterate, or like how to efficiently write a code, like what to use, like just from the global, um, what do we call the global variables and the local variables. Knowing that also helps like when you implement a system, and I've seen that, like, and I'm grateful for my competitive programming experience. Yeah, like, also like when you want to access files more efficiently, like you can use graph theories like VFS. So knowing those things will actually help you while implementing things. So that's why most companies wanted you to have a coding challenge before interviews. So yeah, like investing on that is not gonna hurt. Like it's more rewarding.
That's that's very good. Um, so you've mentioned resources. You've mentioned many resources. We also have questions from the audience. Well, resources are abundant. Sorry, abundant these days. Books, courses. So, are there any particular ones? You have mentioned Microsoft Power BI, and you're also taking AWS too, cloud computing. Uh, but it's what certifications or courses would you recommend for beginners?
Um, like try to have a certification on your favorite programming language. For me, it's Python. So like I have certifications in Python. Um, and after that, like whatever kind of skill that you're looking for, try to look for certificates. I usually use Udemy, um, also like when it comes to AWS, like I will try to use their resources. Um, and when it's like more deep learning or like data science related topics, I go for like online resources. I will check reviews mostly. So based on that, like I will select books, um, and also like try to like when you need certifications. I don't know. For me, like it was Coursera, but now it has been like changed to somehow like you need to pay for like I think $5 or something. So I'm like finding for other ways, probably Udemy and Udacity. I'm not sure like they're actually usable, but yeah, I'm just trying. Like if I get other resources, I will share with them. I will share it with you, and then you will share it with them. And like find communities. Like they will also suggest some books. Like for instance, um, like try to follow someone on LinkedIn or like Twitter, so that you could get good resources. Most of them are paid for, but sometimes they just share some free courses or just free certifications, and try to take advantage of that. Also, like I think Harvard, some Harvard courses are just free for some time. So yeah, take advantage of those courses.
Okay, thank you. So I want to ask you this question, like if you could go back in time, would there be anything that you would do differently in your tech journey? Anything you would have changed?
To be honest, I don't. I don't want to change anything for the world because every experience, every mistake, and people that have made, whether it's we have a good relationship or a bad relationship, like it was really helpful because everything has taught me something to like something to do or something to be better for my future self. So I would not change it for the world.
That's a good answer. How about advices? Any advices that you remember, or any advice that you wish you have received when you were starting out?
um just focus on uh, some things. It's good to explore, but after some time, just focus on something and try to master that. Like try to learn more skills, and never give up. Like never like on something that you believe in, like that you truly believe in, like not just because I say it so, or like someone like you see as a mentor say so. If you feel like that you need to learn it, you just need to do it. uh, People usually tell you from their perspective and like their experiences, but try to understand what you actually truly want to do and like invest on that. That will help. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess kind of helps.
Well, that's an interesting insight. I have finished my questions, but I would like to give you the chance if you want to add anything else.
Okay, like have we covered the questions in the chat?
Yes. No, not yet. Not in the chat yet. Should
Okay,
we go to the chat first?
yeah, I think
Okay.
that's better.
So, okay, we've covered certification and courses. So, we've somehow covered advices, but there's one that says, "What would you advise me? I'm a beginner on the way of transitioning into data analytics from a non-technical background."
Okay, so I think for this, um, maybe if you need something structured, um, Udemy helps. There are some free Udemy courses. Like if you search on Telegram, there are free Udemy courses. You can take those. Like there is a coupon from I think the authors, and Like when you get that free course, try to claim it. Usually it works in the coupons are free for some time, so just claim it and try to learn. Um, or if you didn't get the course immediately, try to look for YouTube and other certifications as well, so that you could have some structured knowledge. Yeah, just focus. And I think it would be much better to see job descriptions, like wherever you want to work on. Try to see like whether it's remote or whether it's in Ethiopia. Try to see like where do you want to work and what the job description says, and like it will give you an idea of like what to learn. It will be a good guidance, and like when you get when you start one course, like YouTube will also add uh, related topics, so I think that would be helpful. And like
Um,
I would like, if you get the answers, I would like to see like your reaction, guys. If not, like just speak up.
okay. So we have a few questions in the chat, but any more questions, you can write them in the chat, as well as I think you can unmute and ask questions too. Uh, so in the meantime, let's just continue with the questions here. Um,
Okay.
this one is also related to advice, but what life advice would you give us to succeed in the tech industry, especially being a female developer? I mean, anything you want to add on this question?
Mm. um like do not be mm, do not limit yourself, and try to focus on like your goal and what you're trying to achieve. Like clearly state your goal, like when and no, like wherever you want to go, like try to put it out there and like just write it, or like whatever works for you, and like just go for that. And no matter the circumstances, just do something special, or like do something that you're excited about, just for like 6 months or for a year, and don't give up on it. Like try to learn just a framework in maybe like in a week, over the weekend, or maybe in 6 months. Like try to go on your pace, but don't give up on what you actually wanted.
Okay.
And do not be discouraged by like what the other people say, something negative about you, or like whatever it is. Just be confident.
That's a great advice. We have one more question. It says, how did you land your first job, and are you working on Upwork? If yes, please let us know how to land our first client.
Okay. Mm, my first job was my internship, I think. Um, but like right after my second internship, no, like I think my third internship, I was hired as a part-time developer, and I worked there for like some few months. Uh, yeah, like my internship uh, continued to be my part-time job, uh, and like my full-time job was right before graduation. Like our project was selected as a top 3 project, and we stood third in School of Electrical, and like INSA liked our idea of the project. Was kind of related to the national ID concept, so they want us to help them out on that project, and they hired us. So yeah, that's how I got my first full time job. Um, And I have not worked on Upwork, but I think if you know Bekalhi Mulgeta, she's, I think the channel name is Idami. Um, yeah, I think it's Idami. Yeah. If you search Idami on Telegram, it will come. Idami ET. And it have, I think, 3,800 subscribers, and you can actually ask that question. I have tried Upwork, but I have not been focused on it yet. So yeah.
Okay. So these are the questions in the chat. Do you have any more questions from the audience? Mm,
Okay.
it says, could you share us the link for the Telegram channel?
Okay, I will. Mm, I don't know. Like, I will share it with you, Hannah, and like you can share it with them.
Okay, sure. Uh, so I think these are the questions from the audience. Uh, Anything you would like to say, Mama, before we finish the session?
Um, like, just don't give up on something that you actually want to do, and be kind.
Okay.
Learn new things, like something that excites you, like in probably 6 months or like in a year. But at the end of the day, try to, evaluate yourself. What new thing that you've learned during the day? I mean, like, don't be hard on yourself, but yeah, try to learn many things.
Okay. So okay. So thank you very much, Mebatsion Sahle, for being our guest today. Thank you for sharing your experiences and insights. It was a really wonderful session. And thank you, our audiences, too, for joining us today, and WTM for collaborating with us in this session. So stay tuned for more uh, Dev Dialogue sessions, and we'll see you in the next one. So thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.